Hey there, guys. I'm Thaiwanda Thai, producer, songwriter, and I'm an African who's looking to just make changes in the world with business, music, educate people, just get people to just elevate.
Jean-Daniell, le roi de la sap. I'm from the DRC, and I'm an African because Africa is the mecca of life.
But Batarde, I go by the name of Priddy Ugly, and you don't know me yet. I am an artist, overall artist, musician, and I am African because I am driven, I am inspiring, I am motivated, I'm heavily guided by the people and influenced by the people around me, which are Africans, and I am African because I represent progress.
So for me, what I'd like to see happen in terms of African music is literally just systems that work and creating a way that people can understand that this can actually be a livelihood. This can be something that people can build a life off of, because it's systems that have been done in the States, in Europe, and other places across the world where you have songwriters who live off just songwriting. You have producers who live off just producing. And that's the thing what I'd like to see Africa move towards, because right now it's a bit of a cowboy situation where everyone's just kind of shooting left, right, and center, and there's no protocol. And without systems, we can't really gain the momentum that we want to in terms of really feeding ourselves in terms of in this music business. So I don't know, what do you guys say?
Yeah, I think also the systems in place need to benefit the true arts and the talents. I feel like the systems that are there are more like to benefit the person with the biggest budget, you know. Yeah. So like I think the problem is it's less talent, and it's all about the people with the facilities and the ways to get to the top. Mm-hmm. So like you said, the structure should be there to amplify people with talent.
Exactly.
Not just people with the best pockets, you know. So, and I think that's a holistic African problem, even with governments, even with everything we have, is that everything is bought. So as soon as we can break down those barriers of buying our way to the top, not only in music, because like I think we here to represent the youth, and it's not just about the music, because what happens in the way we run our countries boils down to music, to, you know, whatever the case might be, to business and all of that stuff. So I think when it comes to music specifically, I think we should be boosted in terms of talent, you know. Radio stations should be like, we're playing this because this is good music, because this is dope, not because it's Thaiwanda or it's Jean-Daniell. It's like, you know, he dropped a single last week and it was hot. Let's play what's hot, you know what I mean? Let's play what's good. Let's give everyone and there is, I know like people say we can't give everyone a chance. You can give everyone a chance. That's why in the States there's like 30 guys coming out every single week.
And
Priddy, what's up?
I can completely attest to what the homies are saying, you know. I feel like, you know, me just being an upcoming artist, you know, I've been upcoming for a very long time, you know. Some can say 10 years, you know. Like, I won't say 10 years, I've been doing it for 10 years, I haven't been up and coming for 10 years, you know. But I mean, I've been really in the industry for the past 1.5 to 2 years, and really what has prevented us from progressing, or prevented me from progressing, is the systems that have been put in place. Systems that are supposed to be there to better us, but I haven't been able to utilize them like that, because I go to the radio station, and when the radio station doesn't know who I am and doesn't know the company that I represent, and I don't have a #1 hit on Trace, and I haven't been nominated 7 times, then they don't play me before they even listen to my music. So I'm already being judged on my profile before you judging me on my talent. And I feel like, you know, if we are more unified as a unit, more unified as entities, as people who are struggling, you know, people who want to have a purpose, and people who want to survive in this industry, regardless of what industry you're in. Togetherness as Africans, as brothers. I feel like if you're my brother, you won't charge me to play my music, you know.
Sure.
But you know, so I think just a general unity as Africans needs to be something that we really develop and we take pride in.
For me, with regards to the importance of being a young African male, this is something that, how would I even put it? Because for me, this is something that is so serious, because being a young African male now is more important than ever, because the entire world is now looking at Africa. After years and years of already looting Africa, now the thing is that it's now time for the African male, in fact not even just the male, African women, just everybody in Africa to rise up and take ownership of Africa and actually really strive and carve a lane in the world as an African and represent Africa. Because one of the other things that I would like to talk about in terms of even just how we interact as Africans, young Africans, we need to start talking more. We need to start really building bridges amongst each other, communicate, find new ways to solve problems. That's what I would like to see happen now in Africa. This is the most important time we've ever had.
Definitely. I think it's very important to be like an African in 2016, and being an African man, an African youth growing up in Africa is not the same as it was in 1976. Our struggles are different. Back then they were fighting for liberation and the freedom of speech and being able to not be taught in a specific language. But our struggles these days are different because we have all the things that they didn't have in 1976. So now our struggle is like, we need to see more Africans on our South African television, on African television. We need to hear more Africans on our radio station. I need to open a magazine and see more African designers. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. And it's very important because I feel like in the year 2016, everything is inspired by Africa. The biggest artist in the world today is big because of African sounds. We'll take Drake for instance. Very African influenced album. If you look at the fashion world, a lot of the biggest garments in the world have African patterns on them, African colors. You know what I'm saying?
Kim Kardashian trying to look
exactly.
like her whole life.
We can't wait for
big
Kim
Kardashian. Big booty,
exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. We can't wait for Kim Kardashian to wear dashiki for us to
Then
embrace the dashiki. So we always wait for the Western community to take what is ours and make it popular, and then we hop onto it. But it's ours, so we can do more with it than what they can.
So more with the African pride.
I feel like African men, our role right now is very essential because African men are supposed to be the head of the family, and that's not even being I know there's a lot of feminists in our modern society, but being the head of the family, to take responsibility and to lead. The other day I was listening to a certain artist's album, I'm not going to mention their names, but it was very shocking to hear this South African guy throw a lot of B words and P words and because first of all, we don't disrespect women, and I feel like I can't speak for everyone on the continent because we live in South Africa, so I'm gonna speak about where we are right now. I just feel like first of all, African men we're just bashing our sisters. We're just bashing them so much. I was in the club the other day and it was very, very shocking. We need to lead. So, and I feel also African men are not leading younger African men. We're not telling them, for example, we artists, models, whatever, we're not leading them. We're not telling them when you go to this radio station, this is going to happen to you. We're selling them the finished product, bottles, girls, and whatever the case might be. Also with our arts, can we show more as African males? Can we show where we come from? I want to know, if Priddy is originally from Angola, I want to see, how it happens in Rwanda and whatever. Why are you shooting a video in Santon, So we need to lead in many ways. We need to be role models. These kids look up to us, whether we like it or not. And if a kid slaps a girl, he's gonna say, "Yo, Priddy said I could do it. Thaiwanda said I could do it." If a kid, kids come up to me all the time, "Yo, I'm trying to be on TV." I'm like, focus on that matric and make sure you get a good matric as well. So let's not just sell these dreams to these kids, because the future. As Africans, we don't only need entertainers. We need scientists, we need lawyers, because how we're going to claim back, because I was reading the other day, apparently it's a conspiracy theory, but Beethoven was probably black. The person who invented the internet was probably black. The telephone, these are all black guys that their ideas were stolen from them, So first of all, African men, we need to win back what has been stolen from us and then lead. So I feel like African men right now, we need to pull up our socks, myself included. That's why I say we, because I'm not perfect, but I'm tapping so much into my Africanness and being an African man, because my whole life I was influenced by hip hop or whatever the case might be. But now it's time for us to take the lead, because we are the African men. You feel me?
Yeah, and I personally would just like to add one more thing on what you mentioned about about African young men looking after African women. Guys, it's imperative. This is no joke. because you have to realize that these African women are going to be the mothers to the next generation. So understand that it is vital that as African young men, we look after our African women. They are gems, they are diamonds, they are to be taken care of, not to be taken advantage of or discarded.
Because if you a leader and if you know better, a lot of young men will be like, she's this and she's that. But it's up to you. You're the man. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter if they say she's a B or whatever. You're supposed to know better. You're supposed to mold. You don't find something that's broken and break it further. You fix it.
In closing, what I'd like to say is that thank you to Kai FM for having us. This is something that's very amazing, something that I'd like to see more of. And in terms of just moving forward, to comment on the new phase that South African music is going through on this 90%, one thing I'd like to see happen also is that in that other portion of music to be introduced back into the system, I'd like to see it be more African content, not just international, but international African content, because we really need to start reaching out and unifying Africa as one, because the States has done it, the UK has done it, Asia has done it. We need to do the same thing. It's imperative at this particular moment. But yeah, that's me, Thaiwanda Thai, and happy Africa Day.
Yeah, also, can I just before I wrap up, that I want to touch on something you said. When they said 90%, I thought it was going to be African because, I feel like we're at that stage where Africa is one, but it's one of those challenges. It's still baby steps and whatnot. But I just want to say we need more platforms like this because there's a lot of stereotypes about what we do and people feel like we lack the intellectual capacity to come onto platforms like Kai FM. I was telling the guys, I'm like, my mom and dad are so proud that I'm here because it's the only station they besides, they respect. So we need to come here as the youth and come here and speak to you guys because, when people see us, they expect to be like, yo, 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 yo. But, we are very intellectual and, we're pragmatic and we know what we're saying. So, thank you to Kai FM, Jean-Daniell. Afrique, je vous aime beaucoup. And, Africa Unite, it's so essential. We have everything here. Everyone wants to be us but us. And this is very shocking. So it's time for Africa to unite and signing out.
Yo, man, I go by the name of Priddy Ugly, and again, you don't know me yet. Shout out to my African brother sitting next to me, rather. And thank you to Kai FM for having us. Happy Africa Day to everybody. That's tuned into this thing. And check us out, man. Follow. Don't just follow, but support your African acts. So follow me. Yeah. Follow Jean-Daniell. Yeah. Follow Thaiwanda. See what we're about. Follow the music and man, nothing but love.
Yeah. I'd like to say, be curious. Be curious about Africa.
As well.
Be curious about Africa and go find out about it. It's beautiful.
Doesn't mean because it's not on TV and radio, it's not legit. Yeah.
Sure.